Ready to go.
Okay. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. Today we're working on this little chipper shredder. Now, I bought it from a gentleman today, and he said it's been sitting around for just a little while, but it's in super nice condition. So I figured even though it was a little bit expensive, it was definitely worth grabbing. So we're going to go ahead and clean the fuel system out, drain all the old gas, and clean up the carb and see if we can't get her running. So all you new people out there, go ahead and subscribe. It's free, and it really is what we work for. So let's get started. We should be able to make quick work of this guy. Let's get the airbox off. Okay, let's get the carburetor off and see what we've got. Looks like it's going to be a 10 millimeter day. It's got the 6.5 Kohler. Come on, buddy. There we go, close enough. Looks like we might have a kink in the fuel line here, so we may need to put a new piece of fuel line in this section. Let's go ahead and turn the fuel off and pull her off. Now once we get to the end, usually the linkage hops right off here. There's that. There's our spring. And there you go. So let's take this bad boy over to the bench and see what we've got. Once one of these guys sits for a little while, it's super common for the jets to get all clogged up. So I'm expecting this to be just one of those jobs where we clean the jets up. We'll run the carburetor through the ultrasonic just for safekeeping. See, the gas is just a little bit yellow. That's a little bit bad. You see the jets are right here deep inside the carburetor. And you'll find that even though there's a Kohler motor, the Honda motors are just about identical. And so are the Predator motors. They've all got pretty much the same setup, or something similar enough to where the same instructions would apply to all of them. Okay, there you go. And there's our emulsifier. So I'm going to clean the body of this up real quick, and then we're going to throw her in the ultrasonic. Now, while we wait for that to cook, we're going to go ahead and clean the jets out. And looking at this, jet on this is pretty clogged. Didn't see much daylight down the hole. And I'm using floral wire that you can get from any craft store. Pretty good stuff. You can buy one roll and it'll last you just about the rest of your life. On the emulsifier, you can look through the little holes in the side and see if they're open. And on this one, they are. So she looks pretty good. So that's all ready to go. Once we get the carb back out, we'll blow her off real quick and get her together, and I expect good things. I'm going to go ahead and drain the gas while we're at it. I don't know how much gas I've actually got in here. Well, we'll find out. Looks like we're completely empty. We're putting it back together. Remember, the pointy end, or the smaller end, goes in first, and the end with the flare on it is the bottom as it sits. So let's get that back together. And that takes care of that. We'll get the needle and float back in place. Always check the needle, make sure it's in good shape. It's always pretty great when they're spring loaded. When you build one of these carburetors, telling the difference between a Honda or a Predator or a Kohler is almost impossible. They're pretty much identical head to toe. And as far as the jets and whatnot go in them, they are identical. It's the same carburetor for build purposes. If you were to buy new jets, you wouldn't buy Kohler jets or Honda jets, you'd buy jets. So let's take it over and get her back on the engine, see what we've got. So far, this has gone exceptionally smooth. Not having any fuel made it a little bit easy. Hardest part was finding the magic to get this off the studs. There we go. Now I'll put this on just far enough to get that in place. And I'll go ahead and do the spring while we're right here. There we go. Let's check her. Everything seems to be in order. So let's get our fuel line back on. A couple of bolts and let's put some gas in her and see what we've got. Only thing I can think of that we're going to want to do on this before we let her walk away is we're definitely going to want to put a new spark plug in it. She's had a few minutes now for the carburetor to fill up, so let's give her a run and see what we've got. She's on full blast, which activates the choke. That's the quickest turnaround on a piece of equipment we've had in a while. It's not quite 8:30 in the morning, and I went and bought it, brought it home, got it apart, and got her back together and running. So we're going to go ahead and put a new air filter on it and a new spark plug on it, just because that's what we do. But every one of these carburetors on one of these little machines is almost identical. The Hondas, the Predators, the Kohlers, all of them use pretty much the same carb. And if you could do one, you can do all of them. So, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. If you made it this far, you might as well, and it makes our day when you do. So, we'll see you next time.